Welcome to EPLoverLA. This is the week of June 7th through the 13th, 2010, which means the 2010 World Cup is well underway. It also means that you are probably just as incredibly sleep deprived as I am. Well, social media and football went head-to-head this week as Holland became the latest team to ban their players from any social media sites whatsoever. They can partially thank striker Elia for this, who had the brilliant idea to have a live webcam running while he and his buddies played some video games. Sounds harmless, except apparently he used a slang term which offends pretty much anyone in the country of Morocco. Elia had to issue a public apology in which he said that he was just hanging out with his buddies, he absolutely did not mean anything offensive whatsoever, and he was sorry. Well, Holland joined the ranks of Spain, England, Germany, Brazil, Mexico, and Argentina, who have all banned all of their players from all social media sites. So, of course, what am I going to do with this information? I'm going to go check out the social media sites. I did find some footballers who have Facebook pages and or Twitter accounts. To tell you the truth, on the Facebook pages, they look like they're actual pages. There isn't a like button, so it doesn't appear to be a fan page. So if you want to try and friend a footballer, go for it. On Twitter, some of the accounts actually are verified accounts, which means that they are tweeted by the person, by the footballer who is listed. Some of the accounts are not verified, but they do look like that they link up to the official website for the player, which is still pretty cool because, you know, it always ends up weaving back to the footballer in the end. So here's a list of some footballers that you can find on Facebook and or Twitter. So after you're done jotting those down, we are going to jump over to Helen for the week and some more World Cup fun.
In honor of the World Cup, I'm sure that many of you are going to be throwing World Cup parties. So I thought I would use my segment this week to talk to you about a few ways that you can spice up your World Cup celebrations. For the hostess with the mostest, I suggest a captain's armband. Wear it around so that people know who to go to for refills, extra popcorn, where's the bathroom, just to make sure that you don't get stripped of your captaincy by sleeping with your best friend's significant other. We all know you're drinking. The question is, where are you putting your drinks? Might I suggest on a football-themed coaster? Make sure you get the kind with the transparent window so that you can put in your favorite pictures of your favorite footballers. My friends and I prefer ones with photos of footballers touching themselves or each other. No World Cup party is complete without decorative soccer balls. I suggest one with your team crest on it. And this serves two purposes. Aside from looking cute, if a certain player on your team does something that you don't like, you can literally kick them in the ball. One of my favorite games at any World Cup party is the yellow card, red card game. But it's no fun carding people for things they're already getting carded for, so I suggest making up your own categories. For example, bad hair, yellow card. Just plain ugly, red card. Have a last name that starts with the Ron and ends in an Aldo, the double whammy. One of the most fun ways to have your guests express their team support is with the mini flag. Yay! So let's say, hypothetically speaking, that the final game ends up being Italy versus the United States of America. Give your Italian supporters little Italian flags and your American supporters little American flags, and they can duke it out throughout the game.
Well, Helen, you know you're not actually going to need the Italian flag, though, because Italy's not going to make it to the final of the World Cup. Helen?
Welcome to the 2010 FIFA World Cup Smackdown. In this corner, weighing in at 3 feet long and 127 decibels, which is louder than a chainsaw, the angry African bee-buzzing Vuvuzela. And in this corner, weighing in at 440 grams and a whopping 69 centimeter circumference, the bane of keeper's existence, the Jabulani. Both have been known to cause misery and upset, so let's look at their stats. Let's start with the Vuvuzela. Able to bring entire teams down to their knees with its eardrum-damaging buzz, victims include the beauty sleep of France, the morale of Serbia since they can't hear their fans chanting, communication amongst players, coaches, and refs, and basically any fan of football around the world that's not from South Africa. And now let's look at the Jabulani. This ball, with its unpredictable in-air flight pattern, has brought keepers to tears, Algeria, brought games level with lackluster shots, USA, caused yellow cards for handballs, and may be responsible for an own goal, to be determined. So who will win this fight to the death amongst the most hated objects of the 2010 FIFA World Cup Smackdown? Join us on July 11th and find out.
If you've been reading the headlines or the EPLoverLA Facebook or Twitter pages, you might have caught some of the controversial stories about the World Cup referees. You might wonder, how did they pick these guys? Well, back in 2007, 54 trios of referees began training when FIFA introduced its Referee Assistance Program, RAP. The program brings together referees from different countries and continents and attempts to bring unity and consistency to the interpretation and application of the laws of the game. RAP was also created to prepare the refs for the World Cup. Along the way, the referees participated in classroom lessons, theoretical tests, and interactive sessions on the pitch. Now, 30 trios representing 28 countries have been selected to implement what they've learned. The refs work in groups of 3, usually from the same country. A ref from Chile was injured just last week, so he and his 2 assistants were replaced. Physically, it's a tough job. The refs can be twice the age of the players, and yet they run an average of 12 miles per game, often more than the players. Meanwhile, they have to be on the ball at all times, making calls that are going to be scrutinized around the world. They have to deal with players like Rooney, bombarding them with profanities. But don't worry, they've prepared for it all. They've even studied English obscenities, so they'll know exactly when they're being disrespected. They've passed rigorous physical fitness tests. FIFA actually replaced 2 trios last month when an assistant ref in each group couldn't pass those tests. So if you feel that you're better qualified to hand out red cards in South Africa, without all that running around on the pitch, of course, there's an app for that. It's slightly more interesting than just yelling at the TV. So stick around after this episode and leave me a question for next week's Learn It from Lauren. Thank you for watching EPLoverLA. Enjoy the World Cup and we'll see you next week. Helen? 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 Helen, I didn't mean it. I wasn't serious. Helen! Just freaking Italy supporters.